Oh gosh. Okay, welcome back, Mashers, to another episode of the Weekly Mash, the segment where we get to sit down with some of the most imaginative and inspiring indie authors out there. Today we are taking a trip into a world that blurs the line between what's real and what's simulated. Where survival meets shocking truth, we are joined by speculative fiction author Haley DeVore to talk about her book Untethered. Welcome
Woo!
to the Weekly Mash. Haley, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little about you and your book?
Yeah, totally. Thank you for having me. It's
Of
really cool
course.
what you guys are doing and getting authors' names out there and people that are
Like
kind of just getting started and all of that. So I'm very honored to be here. But I'm Haley. I'm Haley DeVore. I guess I can say my full name because my full name's on there. But I I'm a speculative fiction author from Ohio, from Southeast Ohio. I'm very passionate. I say where I'm from because I'm very passionate about where I'm from. And it kind of really gets put into a lot of my work. But this was actually Untethered was the very first manuscript that I ever wrote, and I actually sat down and wrote. So
Wow.
I'm really happy to be like promoting it and getting it out there as I'm going through this process of getting it perfected and getting it put together and everything. So, yeah.
I love that sometimes we get to catch you guys before your book releases because not that other authors don't have it, but authors who are like releasing their first book and doing all of the work are like they're 100% in it. They're
Yeah.
excited about it. They're like their heart's in it. Like I said, not that anybody else, but I feel like you guys are so much more like enthused and like
yeah.
all like excited and like let's do this kind of a
You're
thing.
like,
So
book? Did you say book? I could tell you about a book.
Literally.
yeah. So we love it. We love all indie authors, but we especially love ones who we get to start the journey with them because you're not getting rid of us now. We get to
Right?
start the journey with you guys and share you guys out to the world and blast you out from the very beginning. So we're excited.
It's very cool. I love it.
Yay! But yeah, Haley, just like we said, welcome to the Weekly Mash. We're beyond excited to have you. Before we get into Untethered, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself? What first drew you into the speculative and dystopian genres?
I would love to. Well, just a little bit about me. I'm 28. I have, and my fun fact I share about myself is that I live here with my cat. I'm very passionate about my cat, so
Oh,
I always
I
have
love
to say that she's sitting over there looking at me right now, like what on mom?
you're talking
But
about me.
but the one thing that really got me into, I feel like dystopian and speculative and kind of like sci-fi books, I am a huge Suzanne Collins fan.
Oh yeah.
I think that The Hunger Games was like probably the first book that like really impacted me
Mhm.
growing up, and so much so that I literally have sitting over here on my bookshelf, I have like the entire box set and like all of the collector's editions and everything like on top
That's so
because
cool.
I just wanna look at it and be like,
Yeah.
that's, like, kind of what got me into it and everything.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I would say probably definitely The Hunger Games was what started it, and then I just kind of went from there. I, like, got into Divergent and, like, all of those other,
Mhm.
like,
Oh yeah.
young adult
Yeah.
things. So,
I love
Nice.
Divergent.
oh, so
Can I
good.
just say
Let me
that the
let me
Hunger
rephrase that.
Games special
Sorry, go ahead.
editions are gorgeous? Like,
I know.
I don't
Literally.
buy books generally unless they're like signed or ones that I really love, but those are ones that I would not mind having on the shelf because they're so pretty. They're so pretty.
Yeah, I just got that box set that's got the, like, flowers and everything all
Mm.
over them, and they are, like I love looking at
Yeah.
them.
Oh yeah.
They're
Yeah.
incredible.
So pretty.
I love them. So like I said, I love Divergent, but then I was like, wait a minute, I love 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Love Mia.
That's just
I forgot.
your boy craziness that you've had forever coming out.
The only reason I watch it. Just kidding. No, I love
The plot,
Divergent. So.
Ash, the plot. It's like
I mean,
all those
here's the
memes.
plot.
It's
all
all
have
those
different versions
memes.
of
We
plot.
watch it for the plot, and then it has like the picture. That's Ashley. Ashley to a T. Like
Sorry,
we do it for the plot.
guilty.
You're funny. Yes, very.
I can't
Oh
help
my
it.
goodness. I know. It's just you. It's
Sorry.
all good. We love you. Um, Haley, we love hearing about the moment that authors realize, yep, this is the kind of story I want to tell. So we already talked about Hunger Games Divergent being things that pushed you towards creating worlds like the one in Untethered, but was there a moment in time where you decided, like, I love these stories, I'm going to write my own?
Um, I feel like growing up, I did a lot of I'm gonna, like, totally put myself on blast right now. Growing up, I did a lot of fan fiction writing.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I feel like that's what really kinda got me into writing in general, but then, like, as I got older, I was like, "Okay, like, this is fun, but I kinda wanna do, like be able to create my own people and my own
Hmm.
storyline too and stuff like that." And so, I just kind of, like, started writing in just my notebooks, like, at my desk, and I was the type of person, like, if somebody knocked on my door, I was, like, screaming at them to get out and never to look at writing. Um, I was like, "No,
Yeah.
you can't look." But then I feel like just recently, like these last couple of years, I've for some reason, and I don't even know really what started it, but I've just really kind of come out of my shell and been like, "Why am I so scared to like share this writing with other
Yeah.
people?" You know?
Yeah.
And so then that's whenever it was probably oh my gosh, like 2 years ago now. And I sat down and it sounds so corny and so cheesy, but it was New Year's Eve and I sat down and I was like, "Okay, my goal for this new year is I'm going to like start outlining. I want to like write a story. I want to write a book that's like all my own." And so I sat down with like a yellow legal pad and I just started kind of like outlining things and everything. And then I was like, I like the idea, but I don't have it fully fleshed out, and I don't really know where to go with it, but I know that I wanna do this, like, simulated world and all of this stuff. And then I actually that March went on a trip to the Smoky Mountain National Park,
Oh,
and I don't know what it was about being there, but I went to a couple of places and everything just, like, started clicking and going together with, like, all of these places that I was visiting, and I got back to I camp a lot, and so I got back to our campsite, and I pulled out my notebook that I was outlining on, and I was, like, crossing out things, and then, like, the whole outline just, like, came together for some reason. Um
it's like in the movies where all of a sudden, like, you're just staring off into space and you're
Yes.
writing on it.
Light bulb.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's really what I guess with this, like, just in writing in general, like, because this is the first, like, big writing project that I've ever really sat down and done. So, I think that's what kind of helped it all going or start going for me. But other little things, like, I write some poetry here and there and things, and those all come from that classic, like, tortured poet of being like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'm down and you've wronged me, so now I'm going to totally put you on blast in a notebook." But
Yeah. I used to do that. But I used to do the silly like, I'd put somebody's name and then, like, you write, like, a sentence or whatever for each letter. I
yeah.
used to
Oh,
do that a
yeah.
lot, and I don't know. I think I actually became published with one of those one time. Like, my grandma submitted it to a publishing company or something that did it for kids and, like,
I
published your poem.
vaguely remember that, yeah.
I got, like, a certificate in the mailbox because I remember going to the P.O. box and pulling the certificate out of the P.O. box and, like, freaking out.
We need to find that. Okay, it's every single time we interview an author, Ashley's like, "This is reason number blah, 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 that I could never be an author." And now we have just proven that wrong
No,
because
that's a
we
poet.
know you
No,
are.
poet.
It's still an
It's still
author.
an author, though. It's still an
Thank you,
author.
Haley.
It's
Thank
still an
you.
author.
Damn. Ashley, shut your mouth. Gosh. Okay, well, I
We
did
need
it
to
once.
find
I don't
it.
have to do it ever again.
Okay. I mean, that's fair, but you can't say it now. You can't say, like, I could never be an author because you already were.
Yeah, so now I
Boom.
don't have to do it ever again.
Mic drop.
Show you mic drop. Give me about. Well, I don't have a car, so. My whole family took off with all the cars, so I'm stuck.
Yeah, now you're stuck. You can't come
Man.
get me.
Just wait, I will. Tomorrow.
Good, you can bring me books that you have stacked up at your house.
I think I only have one.
Okay, well, a book that you have stacked at your house.
I did have a whole stack the last time we went over there. It was like $15, and now I think I only have one for you.
That's okay.
Sounds like your problem. Anyway, let's get back to Haley. Not
Yes,
us.
back to Haley.
Okay, so Georgia Boone surviving a world overrun by bloodmouths, only to find out her reality isn't what it seems. Holy cannoli. I'm already... that reveal sounds like a jaw-dropping moment. 100%. What inspired that concept of survival inside a simulation?
I mean, again, I've always really been drawn to like sci-fi. Like every time somebody like reads, because I have a couple of other things that like short stories that I've like put into anthologies with like where I work and stuff. And every time that I submit one of my friends that's on like the board, she's like, I can always count on you to have like the weird twist with something. She's like, I never know like what you're about to do. And so I really like pride myself in finding like a, you know, taking a story and then being like, okay, now how weird can we get with it?
Yeah,
with
I
like
love it.
in its boundaries, you know, and stuff. So were you asking me what was your question again? Sorry.
No, you're good. We were getting into it. What inspired the concept of survival inside a simulation?
Okay, so I also feel like it's like there's so many things in the world now that I feel like are these control and like we are like ways that we can control people and ways that you know are being controlled. And so I really like to, again, because I'm such a, you know, fan of like these stories that I feel like also have these underlying messages and underlying meanings. I was like, okay, so I kind of like the idea of like somebody being controlled, but how can we get them, you know, controlled in a way that you can still run with like a full length story.
Yeah.
And I just like the idea of like, okay, you wake up and like we're living our everyday lives, you know, and everything. But it's like, okay, what if like all of this is just not to get, you know, deep and like make you start thinking about your life? But it's like,
Yeah.
what if like every day when you wake up, like you're not actually controlling like what you're doing and like
Mhm.
somebody else is like
Crazy.
controlling what the weather's like outside. And so whenever you wake up and you're like, oh man, I'm not going to go on a walk today because it's raining. It's like, you know, these are things that I kind of thought about while I was writing and like ways to like get people
Yeah.
thinking about
All
the
the
things that we realize.
conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
I have to
yeah.
say, I am not someone who shies away from like thinking in that same kind of arena, especially with the weather. Like they said it was supposed to rain yesterday. Was that just to keep everybody inside? Because it definitely did not rain
I
yesterday.
know.
And then there's days where it's like super nice. Like about a month ago, it was summer. It's all sunshiny. My husband and I are outside. We're barbecuing. Nothing on the weather says it's supposed to rain. We literally have steaks on the barbecue and it starts raining like full on downpour, hail. We had to run out there between lightning strikes to go get the stuff off the barbecue. And we were drenched by the time we came back in. I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
What happened?
See? I'm telling you, it's all.
They knew you were
and now you're gonna be
barbecuing.
thinking about it. You're gonna be like, man, what if we're living in this type of thing too?
Yeah.
I mean, you never
All the
know.
time. All the
You
time.
never know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
crazy.
But yeah, I just feel like that was kind of like what I thought about whenever, like, what are all of the ways that like we can, or like if you're thinking about whenever you wake up and like
Yeah.
maybe like even what you decide to wear that day isn't like actually
Yeah.
your decision, and like
Mhm.
how do you cope with that whenever you do find out that like, oh my gosh, like nothing that I'm doing is actually my own like autonomy.
Yeah. That's crazy. I'm glad
Gets
we're
the
not the
gears
only one.
moving. Yeah, that's true.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so your supporting cast sounds incredible. We have Nox, Cal, and Juno. We love a good ragtag resistance dynamic. Can you share a little bit about how they came together and what each brings to George's journey?
Yes. So I'm not going to reveal too much about all of them because
Please
there are
don't.
ways that they are all kind of interwoven together. But I kind of, whenever people are asking me about my characters, like Georgia is this like really brooding, which a lot of people, whenever I was telling them about my characters, they're like, you know, I feel like there's so many books now, which, and I am a consumer of these types of books.
Oh, yeah.
You have this like male main character that's like really brooding and grumpy. Oh, I hate everything. And then you've got
Yeah.
the female main character. So with Georgia and Knox, which are my two kind of like main characters, I kind of flipped the roles. So Georgia is this like really brooding, like I hate everything and I hate everyone type of person, and then Knox is this really like awkward, trips over his own feet, like sunshine type of character. So I feel like them playing off of each other, I really like that dynamic with them. But then I have my two siblings, which are Cal and Juno. And Juno is this like really intelligent with plants botanist, like she can do pretty much everything. And then Cal is this like, which I adore him, he's my favorite character in the whole book. um but he is this like, I don't know how to describe him, kind of like a every time that somebody has read it so far, they've been like, he reminds me of Thor. Like he's
Oh.
like this like kind of like funny, he has a lot of the like funny scenes in the book.
Yeah.
And even though he is like significantly older than what his younger sister is, she kind of takes care of him. And they're also written to be from the part of Ohio where I'm from. And I kind of made them as like this conversation about like the two sides of the county that I live in. I live in Athens County. These two sides of the county that I live in, where you've got like this college town, which is kind of what Juno represents. And then you have Cal, who is like the kind of backwoods protector
Yeah.
part of where we live. So I also tried to write in some things with like commentary about where I'm from through their actions and their
That's so
dialogue
cool.
and their characters. So that's why I really, really,
Nice.
really like them.
Yeah, that's very cool. I love that.
That is really cool. I like it.
But then them all coming together, like I said, they kind of all have like a different personality, and I've written their points of view from all of their different like personalities and their dialects and everything, so you can see kind of how whenever you read it, how they all kind of like layer together and make this like group that kind of works. Even though Georgia is kind of the only one that knows going into it like what is going on, and they don't really know anything about it. And just seeing how she kind of reveals that to them too later on in the book is kind of cool.
Oh, intriguing. I like it.
Yeah.
I know. Miranda and I always do this thing where like we're listening to you guys talk about your characters or your plot or whatever, and we're like,
Mhm.
keep going.
It's almost like we're hearing the story, like we're hearing someone tell an audio story, and we're like, oh, okay, just
Yeah.
keep it coming.
Well, and it's so hard for me because I'm like, I just want to tell you everything.
I can
Please, bro.
imagine.
We have to
Yeah.
read it.
Yes. Yeah.
We gotta read it when it comes out, man. Okay, so
Mhm.
speaking of spoilers, because we already know you like twists, you've already told us that. Untethered explores the idea that what's real versus what's constructed. We've talked about that a little bit. What message or emotional takeaway do you hope readers have when they finish your story?
Without spoilers.
Yeah,
It's a good
without spoilers.
question. That's why I'm trying to like see how I can word this without giving a spoiler away. I feel like just kind of like you shouldn't listen to the people around you that are trying to tell you how to live your life and how to go about things in your life, and that no matter what everybody else thinks, as long as you're happy, you should just go with it. Would probably
Yeah.
be one of them. Yeah, one of the big things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. From what we know. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we know. Well, even just from what you've already told us.
I
like,
know. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Good
I actually
tagline.
I had a there's a coffee shop that I really like to write at, and the other day I was there. It was not was a couple of weeks ago, but and I was ordering my coffee, and there was a sticker that I had never noticed on the side of the espresso machine, and it literally said, "It's your world, mold it, or else somebody else will." And I was like,
ooh,
"Ooh," and that's gonna be the dedication page.
Yeah,
I
that's a
love it.
good
I
one.
love coffee.
Yeah.
So
That's
I also think that's
so
another
good
one,
too.
like, just kind of doing what you need to do and not letting other
Yeah.
people. And if you see somebody that's kind of overstepping, just you have a voice, you need to step up and do the
Mhm.
best you can.
Yeah.
I was just
It's
trying to teach
good.
my daughter that a little bit on that level. About, like, just because you're watching somebody, like, take advantage of you, doesn't mean that you can't say to knock it off. And it was
Right.
over something silly, but she's 16, and she's still trying to, like, gain her own voice and, like, realize that she has that option. And I'm like, we were at a football game last night, and I'm texting her about it, and I'm like, "Well, tell him, like, that's not cool." And it
Mhm.
was like I said, it was over something silly, it wasn't even anything major. And she's like, "But," I was like, "Should I?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's your belongings, my," like, what happened was a dude, she left where she was sitting, and a guy moved all of her stuff, and it was, like, a friend, not her friend, but a friend of her boyfriend. And I'm like, it'd be one thing, like, if he, like, well, you were there and you watched him move your stuff, but, like, he did it when you weren't there. So, like, he stepped over a line because he touched your stuff without you knowing. And
Mhm.
that's not okay. Like, you can say, sorry, I'm going on a tangent, but you can
No.
tell him, like, that's your voice. Don't let him, just because he's sitting there, don't let him run all over you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something silly, but
I agree.
Yeah.
same thing. Ugh.
Yeah, you gotta own that voice that you were given. It's there
I was like,
for a
look who your
reason,
mom is.
right?
Look at your mom is.
Yeah.
Ah, I'll tell you
That's
the sky's
true.
purple, and I'm gonna prove to you why that sky's purple,
Mhm.
even if it's blue.
Yeah. You
'Cause
are
I'm
like
always
that.
right. I know.
It's not always a bad thing though.
No.
No. All right. Well, since you're blending sci-fi, dystopian, and a bit of the psychological tension, how do you approach world building in a way that still keeps it human and relatable?
I feel like taking like I was talking about how earlier how everything just kind of clicked whenever I took my camping trip. I feel like it's really helped me having that like focal point of my setting where like I'm like, okay, I know that I want to base my setting off of like this place, and this place. But then I get to kind of like do my own twist to it whenever it comes to technology or like weapons that are used or things like that. But I feel like just having that anchor of like, okay, I have these pictures that I took on this trip and I'm going to look at this while I'm building my world so I can have that visual and make it still realistic and believable, but then I also can like throw in a couple of little like new things. Like I have a lot of I think the biggest thing is like the technology or like weapons that
Mhm.
are used in it because it's like this simulated I mean, I've said that already. It's like a simulated like
Yeah.
lab essentially. So they have like the highest technology that you can get and things that like the outside world hasn't even seen yet and stuff like that. So
Yep,
Okay.
that's my reasoning all the time why I would never be an author, because world building, I ain't got time for that. I
it's
wanna get to
so
the plot.
hard.
I wanna
I
get to
I can
the story.
imagine trying to keep everything straight and like the backstories and the lore and all of that seems so
Yeah.
difficult.
Well, and when I went through my first round of like editing, I literally was reading stuff in it and I'm like, what the heck am I even talking about? Like, what is going on right now? So I have to like scratch it out. And then I'm like, okay, that doesn't make sense because this happened later, like with world building and stuff. So then I would have to go back and start, rewriting some things. Um, but yeah, it's like I have like an entire legal pad of just like world building stuff. And I also have this like
Mm.
really cool notebook that I ordered from Amazon that's like it's like a world building notebook almost where
Oh, cool.
it's got like leading questions. So it's like, what are the major landforms in your world? And like how does that go in with your characters? And how does this landform connect to this piece of technology? So that also was like a huge help while I was sitting and planning out things. But
Oh, yeah.
world building has honestly probably been the hardest thing that I've had to do
Okay.
as, like, writing a book. It's because again, like you said, you'll be writing something and then it's like, "Okay, this has to make sense though, even though I really want it to be this way, I know it can't be because it doesn't make any sense." So
Yeah.
then, like, having to go back and rework it and so it flows nicely into the
Yep.
world.
Whoever
Too much
created
work
that
for me.
notebook is like probably
It's
making bank right now.
I I so wish that it was, like, laying right here. Hold on 1 minute, I think it's in my bag. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get it to you. I
Yeah.
don't know where it
We'll
is, but
find it.
we're on
Maybe
Amazon,
if
there's
you
like
find
a
it, you could send
there's
us
like
a
a
link.
yeah, I'll send you a
Yeah.
link. There's
Yeah.
like a world building one, and there's a plot one, and then there's a character one, and they're incredible. Yeah.
Still too much work for me.
You get sentence
Nope.
starters, Ash. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm one of those people, like, I buy the reading journals. Like, I have 2 or 3 different versions of it. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do so good because I want to, in a year, I want to see, like, all the books I've read. Because, Goodreads apparently isn't good enough for me, even though I use
Right.
it all the time. But I'm like, I'm gonna do this reading journal. And then I get it, and I'm like, okay, it's a plot. And I'm like, he kisses her. Like, describe your favorite characters. And I'm like, eh. They're like, what did you like about the book? I was like, the cover. That's what I do. Like, I wish I knew where mine was so I could show you guys.
You're
It's
like,
literally, that's how bad it is.
everything.
It's literally that bad. I don't know why.
Oh.
Put it on a computer, though. I'll
Funny.
do it all. So we always say that writing a book is one thing. And look at this question. It's perfect time. But the publishing journey is a whole nother roller coaster. What's your biggest aha moment or growth experience during this process?
It actually happened last weekend. So I actually was in the running there's a literary festival, that's like 20 minutes away from me. And I was picked as one of the finalists for a book deal
Ooh.
with Untethered. And we had to send in like a synopsis and the first 2,500 words, and I got picked to be in the top 5. I freaked out. And then I went through and I was like editing like crazy, and I sent it in, and the festival just happened last weekend. And I also did some other readings and stuff there, but we had to stand up and read a chapter out of it that we wanted to read and everything. And like I said earlier, I'm super passionate about like kind of interweaving where I'm from into my writing. And so
Mhm.
Appalachia is a huge part of a lot of my writing. And that was the only parameter that we were given, was it had to be something about, it has to be connected in some way. So I was like, perfect. Like,
Yeah,
this is
I
the
got
world.
this.
This is the setting. I've got this, and, we got all the finalists back, which, I mean, we got to like see who they were and like read the little synopsis. And I did have a moment of like, I read all of them, and I was like, oh my gosh, mine's the only one that's like different. So I was like, okay. Like, I'm kind of hyping myself up. And then the festival happened and they announced the winners, and Untethered sadly did not win.
Ugh.
Sadly did not win. But then they handed me like a packet of comment cards, and I thought, okay, like these are gonna be good to like go back and edit and stuff. And I opened it up, and I was like, it was probably the worst thing I could have done as an author, but also the best thing I could have done. And it just kind of made me realize that like when you have to find like your niche audience, because
Mhm.
like there were 2 comment cards in it that were like, this is amazing writing, the characters are so well developed, it's like disturbing, but it's a good disturbing. And they were like 5s across the board. And then there were 2 comment cards in there that were like, didn't have a creative world, characters were not developed, plot didn't make sense. Like they were like, and I was like, it's like whenever somebody just like bursts a,
God.
but and I did let it get me down for just a little bit. But then I kind of bounced back, and I was talking to one of my friends, and she's like, you don't know like who the panel of judges were. Like it could have been
Right.
somebody that is not into science fiction, or like the
Mhm.
publishing company is somebody that doesn't want to go with science fiction. She's like, you just have to find like who is going to work the best with you.
Yeah.
And that right there is probably one of the like best things that I've realized, because
Mhm.
I went into this thinking like, oh, I might have a really good chance. And then it's like you open and you read stuff like that, and it's like, okay, well, maybe they just weren't for me. They just weren't for
Yeah.
me. And I just have to
Mhm.
find, I have to find who is for me, or even if it's myself that's for me as a self
Yeah.
pub, or
Yeah.
whatever. So I
I
think
feel
that's
like
That's one thing.
dystopian. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh,
no, it's okay.
I was just gonna say that's one thing that we've heard from a lot of self-published authors, is that there's going to be people that aren't going to like what you're writing,
Mhm.
but there's a market out there for every type of writing. So you
Mhm.
just have to find the right people. And
Yeah.
I feel like just with the little bit that we know, I know there's people out there that are gonna like this story. So just keep pushing, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and like building off of what Miranda's saying. So I don't know if you know who she is, Everly Clare.
I don't.
She writes dystopian,
Okay.
Mhm.
and Miranda is a huge fan of her. And Miranda kept telling me about this book, and she's like, Ashley, you have to read it. And I'm like, I'm not a dystopian. I'm like a dark romance, some fantasy. I like a little bit of sci-fi. Like, I'm not. My husband's huge into sci-fi. Like thrillers, but Miranda's like, Ashley, you have to read it. And I'm like, eh. So then we had Everly Clare on our podcast. Number one, Miranda was freaking out the entire time. Number
Yeah.
two, she sold me. Like, she had book 3 getting ready to release. And she
Mhm.
sold me. I'm like, maybe I'll dip my toes into it. I think I blasted through those first 2. And then
Yeah.
Miranda and I both got picked as ARC readers. I still haven't read book 3. Sorry. I I could only do, normally I have to read a whole series like at a time. I think because it was still new to me, it was like still kind of like culture shocked in the best way. But I had to take a little bit of a break. But I would have never, like, it does take a special person, and like I said, the best way possible to be in love with dystopian. But I think people also need to take the chance and
Right.
read them,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I would have never read it. I mean, I did read Divergent, which I feel like is like borderline kind of, but I started to read The Hunger Games, but
Mhm.
I liked the movies, so I just watched the movies. And I know I'm probably the only one that's ever done that and said that, but
There's
I
also a
know.
huge misconception with dystopian as a genre, though, because Hunger Games and Divergent are such huge, like,
Yeah.
marketing stories, they think, oh, okay, it's going to be a trials based, like,
Mhm.
dystopian world, and they're going to have to come from their different districts. It's not
Yeah.
always like that.
Yeah.
And
No.
so, like, the Unchained series from Everly Clare is more, there's more realism in it.
Mhm.
Like, she mentioned that Lou, who is the main character, could be put into a world like June and Handmaid's Tale. So I feel like people need to realize that that genre isn't just like YA gonna do a trial type thing. There's so much more that can be
Yeah, it's
pulled in
huge.
there. So like Ashley was saying, people just need to take a chance and get into those stories,
Mhm.
because you can incorporate like sci-fi, like you mentioned, or more realism like Everly, or romance. Everly has romance in hers. So there's a lot more you can do with it, and a lot more that people haven't experienced yet.
Yeah.
So maybe when your book comes out and we like beg people to read it, it can like open the doors for the rest of the dystopian world. We'll see.
Well,
Miranda
and
will be
saying
having the
that,
floodgate and
Yes,
letting
and
you
like,
in.
floodgates opened.
please. And you saying that, like, and how, like, because those are 2 big franchises, which they're 2 that I've said already on here that I love, and like they're very
Mhm.
Yeah.
inspirational to me and I grew up with. But like I feel like, and it's so funny that you like said that, because speaking of like the comic cards that I got, like one of the notes that were written on the bottom was like Hunger Games-esque, Divergent-esque, and then there were a couple of other things. But like as I was reading that, I'm like, I mean, yes, like I was inspired by that, but at the same time, when you read Untethered, it's like nothing like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like nothing like, but I
Yeah.
feel like whenever you get in that mindset of like, oh, it's a dystopian book, you're immediately like, oh, it's a Hunger Games 2.0. Oh, it's a
Yeah.
Divergent 2.0. And like I feel like there's so many other books out there that are in this genre that are not at
Right.
all similar.
Yeah.
Well, I say though, like I say with fantasy, there's so much that can fit under the fantasy umbrella, and I feel like it's the same thing with dystopian. Like, there's a huge amount that can fit underneath that umbrella that they're not
People
even
don't
touching
realize.
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think they just need to take a chance and understand, like, dystopian's pretty cool, guys. Have you ever seen
Mhm.
4? I mean, have you ever
She goes
read
again.
Divergent? Sorry. Hmm.
Oh man.
I didn't say that.
Okay. Gosh. Oh, you're funny. Oh. Okay, we're gonna do some mash madness. So this is like our lightning round. So quick answers only.
Oh Lord, okay.
Coffee or tea while writing?
Tea.
Ah, dang tea drinkers. A book or movie that changed the way you see storytelling.
Oh my gosh. Does it have to be a book or a movie?
Whatever.
Or can it be a
Free
TV show?
reign.
Free
It could be
reign.
it could be a TV show.
Yellow Jackets.
Oh,
I
I
haven't
haven't
watched it
seen
yet.
that, but I have seen lots of trailers and it looks good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Might have
Yeah.
to try that.
Yeah.
Favorite fictional world you'd risk surviving in?
Probably The Walking Dead.
Oh,
Ooh, I
okay.
like it. One word your main character would use to describe herself.
Sorry, I feel like I just heard her in the back of my head.
I love it.
Misunderstood.
Ooh.
I was waiting for you to be like, she says she's a badass. I'm just kidding. That's what I was waiting for too.
I mean, she's saying that out loud, but then in the back of her mind, she's like, "Please, somebody understand me."
Yeah.
A trope that you'll never
Obsessed.
get tired of reading or writing.
Enemies to lovers.
Ah, yeah.
Gotta love it. Yeah.
I love me an enemies to lover. Mm.
But also,
Haley,
found family too. Found family too.
Love
Probably.
found family.
I
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
too. I do.
Yeah.
I do love it. Before we wrap up, we know that Untethered is still in the works of coming out. But what's next for you? Do you have any sequels, short stories, or other projects that you can tease?
I have started a sequel to Untethered. So just know that I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but there is an opening for a sequel for it. I also am the type of person that I really like to, whenever I've found in this writing journey, Untethered is this like really detailed world, I feel like, and like I don't want to say it's exhausting to write because it's not. I love to write it. But
Yeah.
I feel like your brain has to work overtime when you're doing
Oh, yeah.
sci-fi, dystopian, all of this stuff. So I'm trying to get into the writing routine of doing like sci-fi crazy world and then I hate to say silly little romance, but like
No.
silly little romance story.
Yeah.
So I did after I finished Untethered back in like it was probably like May of this year, June of this year that I really like finished like first draft, I'm just like going to stop for a minute before I go back and I start, editing and things for it. I did start an enemies to lovers music industry romance that is very, very, very close to it's a shorter one than what Untethered is, but it's very, very close to being done like first draft round. So
Imagine this is my debit card. Take my money.
and I have had one of my friends kind of like look through it. We share a lot of our stuff back and forth, and just do edits and comments. And she was like, "I love Untethered, but this is my Shayla." And I was like, "Okay." So I kind of like exploring the idea of being like a multi-genre author, and like I said, it's just kind of a refresh to not have to think as hard with like world things whenever you go into a story like that where it's just kind of like your normal modern everyday like life. So
Well, that's
An
like
author? Oh, go ahead.
even Rebecca Yarros does that. Like everybody's like, when's the next book? When's the next book? She's like, I have to do contemporary in between. I need a break. Like it makes complete sense to just let something all out without having to overthink everything and then get back
But at
into
the same
like
time, where's my book?
I so feel that. I so feel that.
I know.
And I had to say, an author that can do both? How you doing?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Super cool. Hey, Ash, you want to wrap it up?
It says you.
Okay, that's fine. You made me introduce. Okay. Where can everybody find you, Haley, on the World Wide Web, and when can we where can we see when your book will come out?
So definitely on TikTok, at H DeVore Writing, I think is what it is. I don't think there's a number at the end. Let me look really fast, but I don't think there's a number at the end. There's not. It's actually just HD Writing, so I don't even know my own TikTok handle.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We'll
So
have it
definitely
linked.
definitely on TikTok. I'm really bad, I feel like, about posting on social media, but I'm trying. It's like after I've finished this, like with Untethered and everything that's kind of happened in the last couple weeks, I'm trying my best to like I'm gonna start trying to post regularly. But definitely TikTok. I'm very active on TikTok. I'm gonna try my best to use my Instagram, which is
It's
this
named with
right.
a 13.
It's HD Writing with a 13 at the end. Thank you. This is how bad I am about using social media.
I didn't even remember that, Miranda.
I'm impressed, honestly. And then I do have a Facebook page too, which I think is the same. I think it's HD Writing as well, or it's just Haley DeVore Writing is what it is, and it's got pretty little butterflies and stuff on it. So yeah,
Miranda stalked you before we
That was
started. That's how you know
my
we ran through those.
FBI
I am impressed.
feelers.
Like I said, I'm so bad. I really want to be better. I do. I feel like life gets so crazy, and then I'm like, oh man, I really should have posted today, or you know what I mean, like promoted something today, and then I didn't. But I'm gonna try my best to be better at it. It's my goal.
Can we give you a tip?
Yes.
I would love it.
Buffer. Sit down one day a week and create all your content for the week and load it onto Buffer. And then you can pick what day and what time it posts and put a description in there, and it posts it for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I
You can have 3 channels and up to 10 scheduled posts at a time on the free version.
That's exactly what I need in my life. So thank you for that.
I know. You can thank Miranda.
Buffer.
We do love Buffer. Buffer, if you want to like.
Not advertised. This is not a paid advertisement.
But if you want it to be.
Yeah, Buffer, hit us up.
What do we have, like 2,000 posts that we've scheduled on Buffer?
Yeah.
We use it all the time.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, well, we'll have everything Haley linked below in the caption so that you can find out when Untethered is going to come out into the world so you can experience the awesomeness that is Haley's world. Haley, thank you so much for joining us. We cannot wait for this when it is available. We'll definitely be cyber stalking you until we can get our hands on it. As always, listeners, don't forget to follow the Book Mash. We're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Go to our YouTube. We need more subscribers on YouTube, guys. So go to YouTube, subscribe, watch all of our amazing authors that we have interviewed. This is number 101, if you can believe it. Yeah. And until next time, keep mashing those books, and we will see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much.